Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Is Joe Rogan leaning towards Kamala Harris being the winner of the debate between her and Donald Trump on ABC? Is that what's happening in this clip? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to play it for you right now, and then I'm going to go through a bunch of reasons why I think she did not win, and it's going to be because of all the lies that she told. We're going to go through that, and then the percentages between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump after the debate. But is Joe Rogan leaning towards Kamala Harris in this clip? Let's get into it.
Did one with, I think he did one with Tulsi Gabbard, but someone needs to tell him, you've got these tiny little windows and you should have all the words ready for those windows.
He started
there should
out
be no repeating things.
Yeah, he started out strong.
Yeah.
Because out of the gate, everybody can't help but get in their own way who they are, right? And for him, it's like, okay, don't get fucking crazy. Like, I'm sure, the thing is, don't say wild shit.
Don't say people are eating cats.
Eating cats and dogs. They're fucking coming in here eating all our pets. And, you just watch and you're watching this thing, you're like, what? And this is fucking insane. And then for her, they're just basically like, don't laugh like a stripper. Like how every time you come to a podium, you're like,
well, that's their panic.
Calm down.
It's a move that comics will do when their material's not that good. They laugh.
They laugh through it. Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you remember, this is somebody, take away your politics or whatever you believe. This is a former prosecutor. It's a trainable person, right? If you're a prosecutor, you can get the information and regurgitate it.
She's not dumb by any stretch. See, people want to say she's dumb because she's not good off the cuff when pressure's on her. But you don't understand what that kind of pressure's like. Like the kind of pressure that lady has been under for the last, let's think about the pressure she's been under for the last 4 years as being vice president. Mm-hmm. Everybody hates her.
Yeah.
A lot of gaffes, a lot of dumb things. So every time she's saying something in the back of her head, she's like, don't f this up.
Yeah.
They're going to come for you. They're going to use this against you. Don't say, did you just fall out of a coconut tree? Yeah. Don't say that one again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so there's that kind of pressure. So it's very hard off the cuff. But when you give her time and prepare her, like last night.
It's a good showing for her, for sure.
Very, very good showing. And unfortunately for him, the thing that he does that it's just, he can do it better than anybody alive is just riff. He can go out there and have a crowd of people and just... And he's funny, man. He does things about, he did an Elon impression the other day. It was hilarious.
He's very funny.
He's killing.
He
kills like a comedian.
Who don't like the guy still will have to acknowledge that he's funny.
He's funny. Yeah. He's funny like a comic.
Yeah.
It's just we don't necessarily want that as the guy with his finger on the button. That's all it is.
Sure.
That's the thing that freaks people out. But the policies that he had when he was the thing is everyone's saying he's going to be a dictator. Well, he wasn't a dictator. He was the president. He actually was the president for 4 years. And the economy really did well. And he really did try to cut some of the bullshit down that's going on in this country. Yeah. And who knows what would have happened if he had 4 more years. Maybe we would have been economically better off, even if you don't like that one person to be the figurehead of the country that you identify with because you live here. You don't want to identify with this guy that you think is blustery and, you know.
Well, the thing is he's going to, we have 55 days or something. And the thing that's really going to happen now is I think he realizes when she first was announced, I'm sure most people, myself included, were like, he's just going to destroy her. I didn't think she was even going to have a chance. But now you realize this is going to be, I believe, a much closer race.
It's close as she's probably ahead now. After last, what is the latest? I saw the Fox News poll. It's hilarious. Fox News is 90% Trump won.
Yeah.
They're eating cats. I saw.
I know.
I saw on Facebook.
Killing newborn babies.
They're even talking about gender reassignment surgeries.
Yeah, I heard this. Yeah,
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know
Find out if that's
either.
true because that's part of the problem with this whole people are eating cats. It's you don't fucking know what's true anymore.
That's
and if you just read things on the internet or you hear things on the radio, who fucking knows what's true?
Which is why, because a lot of people were also, talking about the moderators interjecting a bunch, right?
Yes.
But part of that, feels like you kind of need some of that interjecting because otherwise things are just said. And you have zero idea.
100%.
The big one to me of this is why you need to have somebody interject at times is when he said to her, you went and negotiated with Zelensky and Putin.
Right.
And then and then just moves on. Well, if you're a regular person at home, you work and you take care of your family, you don't know the ins and outs of diplomacy and what's happening internationally. You hear that and you just go, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
So you kind of have to have somebody go, wait a minute, you didn't negotiate with Putin. You never met him.
Right. Harris told ACLU in 2019 she supports cuts to ICE funding and providing gender transition surgery to detained migrants.
Yeah, and
that is crazy.
yeah, and also
that's just September 9th.
She's going to do what politicians do, which she's in the midst of this right now.
Yeah.
Which is just going, yeah, I've changed on that. She did it like 5 times last night alone. Like, didn't you say this? She's like, yeah, I changed. Now I'm this. Like,
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
people can change. This idea of flip flopping when you learn more information. No, stick to your guns.
No.
Stupid. You first
you
believed
can
in,
evolve and
stay
change.
that forever.
Yeah,
that's dumb. Yeah, you definitely could evolve and you could be wrong, and that's part of being a good leader is recognizing you're wrong and correcting your course. That's all good. What is going on with the earrings?
The earrings?
Do you know about this? The earring controversy?
No.
Okay. So there are people that believe that what she was wearing last night was the type of earring that they use for it's an earpiece. Like you can talk through it.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But why would she have to? I
So someone can talk to her.
I know,
so someone can coach her.
They have better earpieces than.
Well, no, Jamie. They want one that looks like a fucking earring so you can just wear it. Duh. Like if you have one that looks like an earpiece, like if Trump had one right through the bullet hole,
this is definitely going to take off. If they're already saying this, yeah this is
going
on Twitter.
But here's the thing: it does look exactly like the ones that they use for what they're called Nova earphones.
Okay.
So there's a video. I'll send you the video, Jamie. But there's a video of this thing in action. It's pretty fucking interesting because in the video they're showing that these little earphones, like it's a commercial, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So is the actual ear
See if you can find
if you have the real thing, do you wear it as an earring?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you wear it as an earring. God damn it, did I save it? I might have saved it on Twitter, not Instagram. But it's did you find it? There's a video.
I'll find the video.
It's kind of cool. Look, it's cool because I like all that spy espionage type. It's interesting. But if she really did do that, first of all, if she didn't do that, bring those earrings, allow them to be investigated, please.
Sure.
Just the ones that you wore. We'll trust you. Take those, because you can't really get a pair made that aren't those.
Right.
If you have those, so this is what it looks like. So there's a different commercial that I saw. It's pretty cool. So these are earrings, but they're actually earphones. So you listen to music, all kinds of shit. Or you can have people give you instructions and say, hey, make fun of the crowds. Make fun now's the time.
Right.
Make fun of smile. He's talking about eating cats.
Yeah,
don't get mad.
Put your hand on your chin.
Don't cackle. Yeah. So these are actual earphones, which
those are really cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, I did not realize that.
And so that's exactly what the ones looked like that she was wearing.
Well, that'll be a new thing to run with.
Yeah, fun times.
These next 55 days are going to be.
Yeah, they're going to be bonkers, man.
I forgot how crazy it gets. Just the energy and chaos.
Oh my god! Every time I go on Twitter, I get fucking anxiety. I just send it to you, Jamie. You can see the comparison side by side of the two of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be nutty, dude.
Yeah.
And then when we get into November, it's oh my god.
Fine. I'm just scared that someone's gonna do something really stupid. Some extremists on either side that really do believe you're gonna take away the trans kids, or really do believe you're gonna destroy the country from the inside. So that's what it looks like.
Didn't Joe Rogan predict that? Because this was obviously recorded it was recorded before Trump's second assassination attempt. He was like, oh, I'm really worried about that. Yep, you should be. 100% you should be. Now, I think from going through this, it seemed like there was more positive things said about Kamala than Trump. And then also the thing that he touched on, she should be ahead. Like she said, she's probably ahead after this. Like, why? I'm really struggling to understand why people think she possibly even did well in this debate. But here's the reason why I have that feeling, right? So let's go through this. I'll touch on the earring thing for you really quick. Those are the earrings in question. These ones right here. This is what she had on. They do look awfully similar. You know, a lot of people are just making the comparison. There she is again. Those are her earrings. These are the ones that are actually recording, or sorry, headphones, earpieces of some kind. Somebody who's actually touching on this as well on Twitter. I mean, this is like going crazy on Twitter because people really want to know what's going on. And
did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it. Because they're destroying
look
the
at her right
fabric
ear.
of our country by
Is it
what
not
they've
obvious
done.
that she has an earpiece in her right ear? Notice how they purposely have her left ear showing, but they cover her right ear in such a way that to make sure you can't see it. You can also tell that she's listening to somebody mouth to something to her. You can tell.
That, you know, is crazy as that might sound, that is very true. Because I mean, you see me doing it every single episode. Some people think I'm looking at a phone. I actually have notes. So anytime, I always let my clips play through. So anything I want to talk about, I write down. So usually you'll see me looking up, but I'm actually writing. Sometimes I look down depending on how much I have to write. But there is a look on my face that comes over me as I'm writing something and watching and listening at the same time. And she kind of does have that face as she goes through the debate. So I do understand why people are coming to this whole conclusion that there's some kind of earpiece going on. This is the commercial that Joe Rogan was showing. It's called Nova. This is the earpiece. This is the earpiece on another lady. Now, when you look at it on the second lady right here, it's identical to what she's wearing there. Now, what Joe Rogan suggested is like, let us see those let us see those earrings. That would be the solve of it all, but that's never going to happen. Those earrings were probably bleached and destroyed like Hillary Clinton's emails immediately after the debate. I'm talking about like Inspector Gadget, like this letter is going to self-destruct. Like she just went boop, boop, threw them in a garbage can. They went poof, for sure. They're gone. They're absolutely gone. But let's get into what he was talking about in regards to Trump versus Kamala Harris. I don't see it, but here's why. You know, I was going to play some clips. You know, I'll play this one quick, but there's one I just want to jump to, and this is the main reason why I think she absolutely lost this debate.
Different policies, like she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
I just wanted to play that real quick, you know. That little I'm speaking bit, that was a big callback. They were talking about how he kills like a comedian. That's a big callback to when she was debating with Mike Pence. And she was like, I'm speaking. So the fact that Trump was like, let me just throw one out there for my ex-boy, Mike Pence there. This is the reason why I feel like she really lost this debate. Here are the top 5 lies. And this video, just this compilation, calls it out perfectly. So just listen to this.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away. So stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program. It's got to be smart. We got to do it the right way.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons?
I do believe that we need to do buyback. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
She was big on...
Sorry, you guys know I don't interrupt a lot, but it's more than just what Tim Walz is allowing to be done in Minnesota, New Mexico, I believe New Hampshire, I think Oregon as well, New Jersey, I believe. There are 3 other states as well. In 7 states, there are no limits to when an abortion can take place. No limits. That's a real thing. It's not a made-up thing. You know, Tim Walz also has his absolutely terrible policies in Minnesota, but there are 7 states where there are absolutely no limits. And people have actually tested this It's very sad for me to actually watch, but people have been calling certain in certain states, and they've been saying, I'm 32 weeks along. Can I still, get the procedure done? They explain the procedure. It's heart-wrenching for me, especially as I have a new baby, but it is doable, and they are doing it actively. So that moderator who is, I just want to go to her face for a second. I'm sorry, guys. Is Kamala Harris's sorority sister. Just saying. Anyway, let's go on with the rest of the lies.
Born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she won.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong. And then also, again, what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools and taking police officers out of schools. On that point, Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
Mexico has taken over a period of 30 years 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it, went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
So, again, I always acknowledge my biases. That's one thing that I do that I don't see other people do. I always acknowledge my biases. Now, maybe it's because this research is very fresh for me. I'm always looking into this stuff. I always hear about it. But when you're watching that debate live and you know that all these things she's saying are lies and you're calling it out while you're looking at the screen, you can't walk away from that and be like, she did a really good job. She was nailing it there. I can't do it. I just can't, because I know she's making things up. And then when you see the actual backlash of everything that was said, I mean, first we're just gonna, we'll just go to the backlash and then I'll play Trump's final remarks. But this is what ended up happening after the debate. I didn't even jump over to Fox. Joe Rogan brought up Fox, oh, well, you're gonna try Fox, This is CNN. Before the debate, 37%. After the debate, 35%. Donald Trump, before the debate, 53%. After the debate, 55%. So just, it's Joe Rogan. He's always in between. He likes to be in the middle. He's conservative over here. He's liberal over there. So I get it. But in regards to just the debate itself and who actually took the cake there, I think 100% it was Trump, based on the fact that I could see the lies that she was putting. They brought up in the clip, Tom Segura was saying that you need fact checkers, and that could be true, but they were only fact checking Trump. And then the fact checks that they actually did put forward were mostly opinion and not fact. The only thing was the whole Putin thing that actually Tom brought up. And then Joe Rogan talks about how flip-flopping is good in regards to Kamala Harris. And I could agree, but I'd also have to say flip-flopping is good when you admit that where you stood, J.D. Vance, perfect example. JD Vance, you could say he flip-flopped on Trump, but he actually said, this is what I said. This is how many times I said it. Here's the reason that I said it. Here's the reason I was wrong. Here's the reason why I'm now standing with Trump. That's how you adjust. That's how you look at you being wrong and then veer another way. You don't just go, nah, I never said that about Trump. Like, imagine JD started saying that. None of us would trust him. I never said anything like that about Trump. And then we play a video of him saying it. We see tweets of him saying it. He made sure to say, yes, I said that. I was wrong. Here's why I was wrong. This is what actually happened. So flip-flopping, it's just, I love Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan, but it's like, come on, man. You got to really think about what you're saying. And then when we ended off with the final remarks, one thing that kept happening is Kamala Harris kept not answering things and then saying what she believed, quote unquote, saying what really sounded good to people who were downtrodden. That's what she's trying to do. And then in the final remarks, that's what she said. And then Trump hit her with his final remarks.
Do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel. We're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it?
100%. I think that alone really made voters go, yeah, you know what? I may not like Trump, but that is the question to ask. And that is a question that she has not answered. It is the one question that is the most glaring that she refuses to answer. And it's either because she doesn't have the power, which is what a lot of liberals would like to say, although she does, or she's currently holding the country hostage in order for her to gain power, and then she'll maybe do the things that she said. But here's the thing. We'll go to Kamala Harris right here. This is another reason why I feel like she lost this debate. I never go on this lady's site, but I'll go here. Hopefully this is the one. I don't even know where to find it. But right away, oh, they've been tweeting like crazy. I'm not going to find it. But directly after the debate, the first thing that they said was that she wants another debate. Ah, man, I can't find it here. You know what? You always use X as a search engine. This is what you do. Okay, let me do it live for you guys. F it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live, okay? Kamala Harris wants another debate. You can literally use X like this. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see. Oh, it's not working. Doesn't always work, but it is something you can do. You can always search X right away. But one of the first things she said was, we want to do another debate. And you would think if somebody who actually won felt like they won, the first thing they would do is say that they're not going to do another debate. Let the win stand. But the first thing she and her campaign did was say, we want a second debate with Donald Trump. So that's just me. That's just what I'm saying here. Again, I'm always very open about my biases. I got a Trump shirt right over there. Very conservative, so take it how you want it. But I'm just saying, which side was Joe on in this whole thing? Which side do you think he was on? It's very hard for me to tell. And again, he doesn't like to choose sides. But what did it sound like to you? I don't know. They said maybe you don't want Trump, but then also he said he wasn't a dictator. Then he said after this, she should be ahead. Then one guy saying that they should have fact checkers. And then Joe saying that, flip-flopping is good. But then he goes into the whole, he puts on his tinfoil Speedo, and then he talks about the earrings being earpieces. I guess this is Joe just being right in the middle, as he likes to be, you know. I think Trump won. What can I say? Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and let me know in the comments what you think Joe was trying to say here. And I know Jamie right away. Jamie's just like, oh, why would she need a earpiece? Hey, man. Hey. You don't interrupt the man that's trying to play 5D chess while he's in a tinfoil Speedo. You don't do that, Jamie. You've been on the show long enough. You know better. Come on. You let the man play 5D chess when he wants to play 5D chess. Come on now. Anyways, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Other than that, I'm out.